Control, this is Trench. Preparing to descend to ocean floor. All systems green. Over.
Trench, Control here. Confirmed descent sequence initiated. Monitoring your descent parameters. Over.
The sound from Trench is male, roughly late 50s, early 60s. The sound from Control is female, roughly late 30s, early 40s. There's a playful flirtation that occasionally pokes its head in as their conversational protocol slowly segues into something more playful. Roger that, Control. Descending to 500 meters. Pressure holding steady. Temperature dropping. Visibility decreasing. I am officially deep sea diving. Over.
Copy that, Trench. Yes, you are. Keep us updated on depth and conditions, and keep sending us those mighty fine pictures like last time. Over.
Will do, Control. Now passing 1,000 meters. Pressure increasing. External lights activated. Sonar systems online. It's a hell of a ride, Control. Over.
I'm sure it is, Trench. Continue descent. Any signs of marine life or interesting geological formations? Over.
Negative, Control. No visual on marine life yet. Scanning for geological features. Hoping for something good. Over.
Roger that, Trench. Keep us posted. What's your ETA to ocean floor? Over.
Estimating 2 hours and 12 minutes to ocean floor. It goes by too quick, Control. Over.
It's always next time, Trench. Reteam for final descent. Maintain steady progress. Over.
Copy that, Control. Back in a flash. As the light from above became extinct, Cameron pulled out something to keep him company. His Michigan State hat. He put it on. It was a way for him to not feel fully alone. His son gave it to him when he came home for Thanksgiving, his first visit home after leaving home. He wore it on his first deep exploration, and then wore it for every deep-sea exploration afterwards. It meant the world to him. It was the world to him. There was quite the menu of possible sightings from his previous deep-sea adventures. Anglerfish, gulper eel, and viperfish are adapted to survive in the darkness with bioluminescent lures and unique body shapes. Different species of jellyfish with unusual shapes and adaptations to low-light environments. Goblin sharks, or the six-gill sharks, are found in the deep waters of the Bermuda Triangle, although encounters are rare. Giant isopods, amphipods, and deep-sea shrimp thrive near the ocean floor. Sea stars and sea cucumbers. These bottom-dwelling organisms play important roles in the deep-sea ecosystem. Various species of sponges, some of which are filter feeders and others that are carnivorous. Deep-sea octopuses, like the Dumbo octopus, have adapted to survive in the cold and dark depths. Cold water corals and deep-sea anemones create important habitats for many other deep-sea creatures. Bacteria and archaea that thrive in the extreme conditions of the deep sea around hydrothermal vents or cold seeps. All of these have made a cameo at one time or another in one of Cameron's previous dives. But the real breadwinner of the bunch, who had remained elusive, the giant squid. These elusive creatures inhabit the deep waters and are known for their enormous size and mysterious behavior. There was a mythos to the giant squid that people all across the world found alluring, either directly or indirectly. Everyone loves hearing about real-life monsters. Only 5,600 meters to go, Cameron said. He would occasionally speak to himself, though for the most part, he let the views do the talking. Also known as 3.48 miles in the ocean, Cameron had been working on the Trench for years. And by working, he meant checking in periodically with the engineers from the best universities in the world who helped him design and build a car that could drive to places the world had never seen before. There's always been this infinite fascination with space, the great beyond. To Cameron, we still had plenty of exploring to do right here on Earth, in our oceans, which are comprised of our most vital element, water. You could feel the pressure tighten as you sunk further. A more anxious person might compare that to being strangled. Cameron compared it to more of a hug. He found this moment, the specific moment when the water turned black, to be comforting. The same way he found the woods at night oddly comforting. Some people might have brought a playlist with them, music to help set the mood. The mood was most definitely set through the visuals in front of him, at least for Cameron Stone. We should never turn our backs on the creatures that smile at night. It was one of his first lines within publishing that got him some traction. He was using it as an allegory for how we perceive foreigners, how people in a distant country don't seem like actual people, the same way that animals who live at night are just as vital to our ecosystem as any daylight creature. The line resonated, and it made him a guiding light for rational thought. Control reaching 8,000 meters. Ocean floor in sight. Initiating slow descent to avoid disturbance. Over.
Copy, Trench. Confirm visual on ocean floor. Proceed with caution. Over.
Proceed with caution, Control. When are you going to get out of that office and do one of these dives? It's a lot better seen firsthand.
We'll keep that in mind, Trench. Although you seem to be doing just fine.
Control, I've located a significant anomaly. Requesting further instructions.
Trench, this is Control. Can you identify the anomaly? Describe what you're seeing. Over.
Control, it's big, beautiful, and... Sorry, Control. Just caught my reflection in the mirror. Over.
Hilarious, Trench. Please let us know when you see something original. Over.
Control, touchdown confirmed. Depth 8,612 meters. Ocean floor stable. Beginning initial scans and exploration. Over.
Excellent, Trench. Start collecting data and samples. Keep us informed of any discoveries. Over.
Roger that, Control. Commencing operations. We'll update with findings. Over and out. Trench is short for Deep Sea Trench. It is a state-of-the-art deep-sea exploration vehicle designed for scientific research and exploration of the ocean's deepest points. It was custom-built in collaboration with a team of engineers and experts in marine technology. It was designed to withstand the immense pressure found at extreme depths in the ocean. Approximately 24 feet in length, it has a compact and streamlined design to minimize resistance and ensure stability during descent and ascent. One of the most critical aspects of the trench is its ability to withstand the crushing pressures found at depths exceeding 10,000 meters, also known as 6.2 miles. The spherical cockpit where Cameron Stone sits is made of special materials capable of withstanding pressures over 1,000 times greater than at the surface. Advanced technology for navigation, communication, and data collection, the trench includes powerful lights and high-resolution cameras to capture detailed footage of the deep-sea environment. It's also designed for solo dives, allowing Cameron or another pilot to descend to the ocean floor and conduct scientific observations and experiments. It's also designed for solo dives, allowing Cameron or another pilot to descend to the ocean floor and conduct scientific observations and experiments. In 2010, Cameron piloted the trench to the Mariana Trench, the deepest known point in the Earth's oceans. This dive set several records and provided valuable scientific data about the trench's geology, biology, and oceanography. Cameron Stone has become the poster child for deep-sea exploration. People were both fascinated and terrified of his obsession with the bottom of the ocean. The normal civilian could not wrap their head around the concept of going 6 miles deep into a body of water alone. It was beyond exploration, he told them. There was a level of tranquility that can't accurately be described. It was almost spiritual. It felt like time simply did not exist down there. He felt connected to the past, present, and future all at once. He was an entrepreneur with an infinite spirit and would be hyperfixated on something for periods of time. His most recent obsession was the rainforest, buying up land so it could not be chopped down for nefarious reasons. But it had been almost 3 years since his deep-sea exploration, and he felt like a swim, a very deep swim. With zero trepidation, he was heading back to the bottom, hoping to find something new, either in the water or within himself. The question became, where? He didn't have to think long. It was a place that had always fascinated him, ever since he was a little kid, an area notorious for its alleged paranormal activities and high incidence of unexplained disappearances, the Bermuda Triangle.
Control, this is Trench. I've located a significant anomaly. Is this an actual anomaly or just yourself in the mirror, Trench? Over.
Control, coordinates are 32.7598 degrees north, 128.8942 degrees west.
Trench, this is Control. Can you identify the anomaly? Describe what you're seeing. Over.
It appears to be a shipwreck. A large one.
Initial scans suggest it's of 20th century origin.
Possibly a cargo vessel. Visible hull breaches and marine growth covering the structure.
Copy that, Trench. Proceed with caution. Any signs of recent activity or hazards?
Negative, Control. No signs of recent activity. It seems to have been on the seabed for decades, if not longer. The surrounding area is quiet.
Understood. Continue to gather visual and sensor data. We'll analyze the findings from here. Any identifiable markings or clues to the vessel's identity?
Stand by, Control. Initiating closer inspection. There are some partially visible markings on the stern. Attempting to enhance visuals now.
Roger, Trench. Keep us updated on your progress.
Control, I've enhanced the markings. It reads USS Cyclops.
Roger, Trench. Can you repeat that?
Copy, Control. The vessel reads USS Cyclops. Control.
Roger, Trench. That rings a bell. Stand by while we confirm. Checking our database for historical records now.
Copy that, Control. Standing by. Cameron held course, staring straight ahead at the ship.
Trench, it appears you have just discovered a United States Navy collar ship that mysteriously disappeared in 1918. Congratulations. You just made a lot of people above water very happy.
Copy that, Control. Glad I could sprinkle some smiles up there.
Proceed with documenting the record and collect any artifacts that could provide insight into its history. Over.
Copy that, Control. Initiating recovery operation. Over and out. The ship was massive. It had to be at least 500 feet long. It was tasked with transporting coal for the Navy during World War I. In March of 1918, the USS Cyclops departed from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, heading towards Baltimore, Maryland. It made a brief stop in Barbados to refuel, after which it set sail into the Bermuda Triangle. The ship never reached its destination. Despite an extensive search effort involving ships and aircraft, no trace of the USS Cyclops was ever found. All 306 crew members and passengers aboard the ship vanished without a trace, leaving behind one of the most enduring maritime mysteries in history. Over the years, various theories have emerged to explain the disappearance of the USS Cyclops. These range from mechanical failure and structural weakness due to its overloaded coal cargo, or to more speculative theories involving storms, enemy attack, or even paranormal phenomena associated with the Bermuda Triangle. Its disappearance has left behind grieving families, unanswered questions, and a haunting reminder of the ocean's vastness and mysteries. Despite several attempts using modern deep-sea exploration technology to locate the wreck, including sonar scans and underwater expeditions, the USS Cyclops remained undiscovered. Until today.
It's just you down there, Trench.
Proceed with caution. All we ask is that you take as many pictures as possible. Over.
Copy that, Control. I've been snapping away the whole time. It's a sight to behold.
Thank you, Trench. Any signs of structural instability?
Negative, Control. The wreck appears stable for now, proceeding with care.
Keep us updated on your progress. We'll take whatever data you can gather down there.
Understood, Control. We'll update you with any further developments.
Excellent. Stay safe down there, Trench. We'll be standing by.
Thank you, Control. Trench out. As Trench moved closer and descended towards the wreck, the outline of the ship began to materialize out of the gloom. The vessel, shrouded in sediment and marine growth, appears eerily preserved despite the passage of time. The state-of-the-art cameras of Trench capture all the intricate details that the world will want to see. The rusted hull, once vibrant paint, now faded to ghostly hues, and the remnants of rigging and deck structures. Cameron was in total awe, and it took a lot to put him in awe. He had seen and done things that could only be experienced in some sort of virtual reality system. Except for him, it was reality. This was just another highlight in a life full of highs. He couldn't take his eyes off the Cyclops. The silence was deafening. Trench moved around the perimeter as his light grazed the outside of the ship ever so gently. The closest feeling he could relate to this moment was when his child was born. He no longer felt infinite. There was now another energy that dwarfed him. He felt that when he looked into the eyes of his newborn baby, and he felt that now when he looked into the eye of the Cyclops. Control, I can't wait for you to see what I'm seeing down here. Words will not be able to do this one justice. Over.
Vessel, please identify yourself. Are you friendly?
Very funny, Control. Over.
Vessel, repeat. Please identify yourself. Are you friendly?
There was something odd about the audio quality of the transmission. The voice on the other end had sounded hostile. Control Center was never one to make jokes, especially when Cameron was now at the bottom of the ocean and had just discovered a ship with 300 men that disappeared almost 100 years ago. For the first time since he saw the Cyclops, Cameron was now staring at something else, his own radio.
Vessel, I repeat, please identify yourself. Failure to do so will lead in potential action. Over.
Control, this is Deep Sea Trench, independent vessel with the United States Marine Program.
Copy that, Vessel. Just confirming a friendly face. Are you coming aboard?
Control, who am I speaking with? Over.
Trench, this is the USS Cyclops.
Time to pull over. Trench stopped, parked, 6 miles below surface level. Control Center would not joke about this. He was known to joke here and there. He had a relatively playful personality for a billionaire, but there was too much money, too much publicity, too much effort spent on the journey of Trench. This was going to become a global story. Nobody in their right mind would joke that they were a dead person who died in service of their country. So the question now became, who would have been able to intercept his transmission? The answer was nobody. Wideband acoustic modems, advanced signal processing, multiple access schemes, inertial navigation systems, underwater acoustic positioning systems, data fusion, integration, real-time data analysis, redundancy and resilience, environmental adaptability, advanced encryption standards, authentication and access control, simulated environments, field trials, higher data rates, autonomous operations, underwater wireless charging. Those were just a couple of reasons why this transmission cannot be intercepted. Trench, when all the dotted lines were signed, cost a reported $23.7 million. For all those reasons and the spiritual ones that would soon have to be brought into the field, Cameron had to once again ask himself, who was he talking to? He had to at least humor the other end of this call. Cyclops, this is Trench. How would I come aboard? Would love to put a face to the voice. Over.
Trench, this is Cyclops. We'd love that too. Rear entry way can be accessed. Come on over. Over. Ha.
Cyclops, who am I speaking with? Over.
Trench, this is Officer Walsh of the USS Cyclops. Over. We see you along our perimeter. That is one heck of a vessel you got there. Can we have one? Just kidding. Over.
Cameron was nodding. This prankster had a little humor. Walsh, huh? Tell me a little bit about yourself, Walsh. How was life in 1918?
Trench, just trying to keep the world on its axis, right? How about yourself? Over.
I hear that. Trying to find an entry point, Walsh. Please advise.
You're almost there, Trench. We can guide you down. Over.
Standing by for access point. Not seeing it, Walsh.
You're almost there, Trench. About 5 more seconds. Go Spartans. Over.
A chill dove through Cameron. Go Spartans. How did they know? It was something only he knew. He only wore the hat when he was alone. He didn't tell anyone, not even his son. It's what made it special. Repeat that, Cyclops. What did you say?
My dad went to Michigan State. Maybe you knew him, Trench. Over.
This was no longer a joke. The Michigan State hat was put on when he began his descent. He was not wearing it above the surface. Nobody knew about it. Not on this exploration, not on the previous explorations. Nobody knew. Repeating frantic thoughts were now flooding his brain. Cyclops, please repeat. You said you can see me? Over.
Trench, that is affirmative. We can see you on our left. Can you see us waving? Over.
Control, if this is a joke, heads will roll. I repeat, heads will roll. Over.
Trench, this is Cyclops. Please repeat if what is a joke. Over.
Cameron was starting to become agitated. The moment of thrill was being sullied by a really immature joke, and he was now feeling anger, an emotion he was always able to hold in check. Control, this is Trench. Last chance. This is not a time to joke. Over.
Trench, this is Cyclops. We don't follow. Joking about what? Over.
Cameron had no choice. The only way to resume a level of tranquility and focus was to head into the agitation. Play along. Stay the course. As always, he went with it. Control, this is Trench. Don't see you. Please advise. Where can I find you waving? Over.
Trench, this is Cyclops. We're right behind you.
A loud bang circulated from the end of Trench, jarring it. What the hell was that? Cameron thought, as he swerved straight into the ocean bottom floor. He sat there for a moment, looking around the perimeter. The sonar was clear, not a beep in sight.
Trench, this is Cyclops. You okay? We see you parked. You need assistance? Over.
The concept of actually being 6 miles below the surface had never really dawned on him until now. The image that most people would think of, that seemingly endless black of water, that stretch between light and dark, those are what most people would think about, and it would terrify them. To be that far from air. How could you not suffocate just thinking about it? Cameron never did. Until right now.
Trench, this is Cyclops. Why don't you come aboard? Over.
Trench was still parked, getting composed. Trying to. The most logical answer was that Cyclops was an elaborate prank. Control could modify their audio equipment to make it sound like it was from the past. That was easy to assume, although they must have known that Cameron would not find it funny at all. And if Cameron did not find you funny, you would be out on your ass. He was a serious person when it came to projects that cost $23.7 million. It had to be a prank. It had to. Would anyone risk their job and future within this industry to try and make Cameron laugh during the midst of a major discovery? No, they wouldn't. But what was the alternative? Cameron had lost his mind?
Trench, this is Cyclops. You alright out there? Over.
Embrace fear. This was Cameron's motto. When he graduated high school and had no idea what to do with his life, he moved to the Philippines with the $55 he had saved from cleaning pools. He lived there for 6 years. It taught him all the social skills he was lacking. From growing up in a small town within a family that resisted risk, he came back home a new man that was ready and willing to bet it all on himself. When he got back to the States, he moved to New York City, a long way from the Philippines, and an even longer way from Boise, Idaho, where he grew up. He got a job cleaning dishes at the Waldorf Astoria. He walked in without a resume, but he did have a smoke show of a girlfriend waiting for him nearby, strategically placed so she could be seen by the manager. The manager saw the girlfriend and couldn't understand why this guy would ask to wash dishes. It was because within 2 weeks he had offered to start waiting tables, and 2 weeks after that he had offered to start tending bars. There was a hot spot for celebrities and elites back then. It still is, to this day. They got a kick out of him. So much so that he convinced 2 of them who worked in publishing to help get him a meeting with Condé Nast. His idea? A magazine called Abroad. The first ever cover was his girlfriend, walking through Vienna alone at night. It became iconic. The sort of photo that became a poster and then would be found on thousands of walls across the United States in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and today. A rallying cry for being adventurous. The actual magazine was a bi-weekly publication serving as a tour guide for poor college students to use traveling in other countries. It became a smash hit within 6 months. It got so big that within 2 years, Cameron moved into the music industry by co-founding Stone Records, initially as a mail-order record retailer. From there, he made Stone Capital, which led to Stone Airlines. His resistance to playing it safe had gotten him everything he had ever wanted. Either this was an elaborate prank or a portal to the afterlife. Either way, life is short. Dive in. Who would he be right now if he didn't embrace the fear of figuring out what sort of paranormal dimension he accidentally swam into? To him and only him, insanity made sense. Cyclops, I'm ready to come aboard. Over.
Trench, we're happy to have you. Head on to the rear deck and we'll strap you in. Over.
Cameron got back into the upright position and drove over behind the Cyclops, all 500 feet of it, and softly held idle just above the rear deck. The ship looked brittle, like dust, as if it could all be swept away with a gust of wind. Trench was a mosquito compared to the Cyclops. He tried to skim around looking for any signs of life. Cyclops, I'm ready to come aboard. Please advise. Where are you? Over.
Trench, we're right in front of you.
Trench turned and there it was, pressed against the glass of Trench's window, a mangled white face with empty eye sockets and wavy white hair. It slid up his window and faded into the endless black. Cameron froze again. He was never one to get anxious. His ability to remain calm in high-pressure situations was one of his defining characteristics. But he saw that. That was real. In cold water, at or below 39 degrees, decomposition can be significantly slowed down. Bodies have been known to remain relatively intact for weeks or even months in very cold water conditions. Bones can persist in water for decades depending on the conditions. This was nearly a century. That face had skin. He could hear scratching from the front of the vessel up and towards the other side. Trench began to shake. It had never shook before. It was created to withstand immense power. Yet here it was, vulnerable.
Cyclops, I just saw a body. Trench, say again, saw a body. Over. Cyclops, I saw a body. There's a body down here. Trench, what did the body look like? Over.
It looked like that. Another face. Just the face, 10 yards ahead, staring straight ahead at Cameron. Trench had his lights blaring directly into the empty eye sockets of this person. Thing. Entity. What was it?
Trench, we lost you. What did the body look like? Was it a friendly? Over.
Cameron slightly leaned forward. He could see the rough outline of a body. It was not human. It had tentacles, some sort of jellyfish. It began to move, slowly. While expanding, it went from 4 feet tall to 8 feet to 16 feet, doubling in size, floating towards Trench. It did not have eyes, but it felt like it was staring straight right through Cameron. I don't think it's friendly. Trench began to shake violently. The entity flew towards the front of Cameron's window and latched on, flipping it over so that Trench was now falling back towards the bottom of the ocean.
Control. This is Trench. Need assistance. Repeat, need assistance. Unknown life forms acting hostile. I repeat, unknown life forms acting hostile.
As it continued falling backwards, the mouth of the unknown beast started to expand. It was slowly covering the entire front window of the trench as if it was trying to swallow it whole. The mouth began expanding up and over onto the top, biting down. You could see the roof starting to slowly cave in. It was pressing down towards his head.
Unknown life forms acting hostile. Unknown life forms acting hostile. Where are you coming?
Cameron waited for the incoming message to conclude, to give him a positive outlook. Instead, an odd air of calm washed over the trench. The shaking stopped. The caving in stopped. A message came through. We should never turn our backs on the creatures that smile at night. When Trench hit the floor, the power went out. Cameron was now without sight and sound. He pulled out his own tiny personal flashlight, aiming it directly at the front window. The mouth was gone. The entity was nowhere to be seen. Nothing was to be seen. It was pure black.
Control, do you copy? Control, do you copy? This is Rich. This is Cameron Stone.
Another bang came from on top of Trench. It sounded like a footstep. And then another. And then another. And then another. The footsteps drew closer until they were right on top of where Cameron was sitting. Static began to crinkle in. Between the silence and the black, Cameron actually began to wonder if this was what death is. An abyss. He started to feel a slight shift. Was he moving? Something had changed. The temperature had increased. How could that be? How could it become water at the bottom of the ocean? The answer was it couldn't. He was floating. He could feel it. In what direction? He didn't know. It was the first time he didn't know anything. He was powerless. The last moment he could remember feeling this powerless was when he was in high school. Stuck. Trapped. Unknown. So he did something about it. He took control of his life. Ever since then, he had been chasing the unknown, and now here he was, right in the middle of it, embracing whatever life or death had in store for him. And then a transmission came through. It did not sound as if it was being transmitted through electronic channels. It sounded like it was coming from inside the trench. A shadow passed over Trench. A shadow in the pitch black darkness. It was washing over him from the left, and then the right, back, and forth from each side. He could hear it. He could hear the movement just outside of the trench. It was swimming. He could hear the vibrations nearby. It was swimming all around him. Hello, Trench. Walsh, is that you? It's nice to see a friendly face. It's been so lonely down here. Any chance you can help me get started, Walsh? I seem to have lost power in here. Not to worry, Trench. We'll take care of it. I appreciate that, Walsh. Maybe we can have a rain check? I got a lot of people up there who are waiting for me. I'd hate to disappoint them. So do we, Trench. All those people waiting for us. What happened, Walsh? Maybe I can help you out? It's too late for that, Trench. I don't buy that, Walsh. It's never too late for anything. What say you and me get back to the surface? Can you see it, Cameron? What's that, Walsh? A light began to shine through Trench's front window. A small white light on his stomach expanded to cover his entire body as Cameron quickly became transfixed staring into it. His eyes lit up like a Christmas tree. He was hypnotized by whatever was shining in front of him. He could feel the light in his bones. A light tear started to swim around his eyes, trying to grasp the magnitude of what lay before him. Is that... The tear slid down Cameron's cheek. Welcome aboard, Trench. search for Cameron Stone was a global story. It was met halfway between ridicule and heartbreak. He had spent millions of dollars on charities during his life, and would no doubt have spent millions more. He was applauded for his spirit of generosity, yet many mocked the story. Another billionaire with big toys who got himself hurt because he had to flaunt his money. The joining between the two camps was a mystery. Where was the trench? What had happened to it? Was it some sort of massive, elaborate prank? Stone was never known for his pranks, yet he was nowhere to be seen. Nobody knows how to hide better than a billionaire, was the growing sentiment across the internet and late-night talk shows. After 6 months of an extensive search, spearheaded by the control boards of Stone Records, Stone Capital, and Stone Airlines, the authorities had to close the case. It was costing too much money, resources, and manpower searching the ocean floor for a missing person, even if that missing person was Cameron Stone. Perhaps, one day, another entrepreneur will come along and build their own personal deep-sea vessel, a vessel that is twice as powerful and fast and resilient as the trench. Perhaps this new pilot will vow to find the answer to what happened to Cameron Stone in the trench. Perhaps it will become one of their goals in life to give an answer to one life's most mysterious and unanswered questions. But if they do find what they're looking for, will they ever come back to the surface?